Hello, it's Podkane. Today I'm doing a financial 911 reading. I'm going to have 3 cards for you to choose from. Let's look at those real quick. Let me show it to you a little bit larger. So, when you do a pick a card, if you haven't done one before, it's whichever one immediately catches your eye or whichever one feels right. And if you still can't pick, just choose whichever one you would feel regretful or really bad about not picking. So the 3 cards I picked for you today are Healing Earth, the power to give and receive healing, Achievement, effort plus intention, and Hidden Knowledge, Akashic Records, Silent Understanding. So I'll give you a second to kind of look at those and think about it. This reading should be answering questions like your current financial situation, why you're under financial stress right now, how to create a better relationship with money. And before we go any further, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a professional anything. So take everything with a grain of salt, but hopefully it's at least entertaining, informative. So having said that, go ahead and skip ahead and we'll get started. So, card number 1, Healing Earth, the power to give and receive healing. I've never done this reading before, by the way, so we're just going to see how it goes. But I thought, people ask me for financial readings all the time, and I've seen other readers do them, but I found one that really spoke to me and seemed to answer some general questions that a lot of people have, so I thought it'd be a good idea for a general reading, like I pick a card reading. All right. Okay, we'll take it. And it's just going to be 7 cards. This one's not going to be very long. Okay. All right. So, what we have here first, the world reversed for your current financial situation. So, this could describe you not really knowing what the hell's going on with your money. Maybe you're not budgeting. Maybe you don't pay close attention to money coming in and coming out. Maybe you're just a little bit behind or not quite where you want to be. Not necessarily that you're, about to be foreclosed on or something like that. Hopefully not. But you would just like to have a more total grasp of what you're doing financially and how to just get that last little bit to meet your goals because you're almost there. But it looks to me like you may not quite be paying attention to everything that is going on with your money flow. So next card over here we have, I got this specifically so that y'all could see where I'm at while I'm fidgeting with my hands and talking. So next card is, why am I under financial stress at the moment? And we have the Hermit. So, just not really focusing in on anything. It doesn't feel like a lot of stress. It's more just like, I just now looked into it and found out that I'm spending way more on like something than I thought I was. So for me, that would be like monthly subscriptions. But it's showing that you're trying to look into it. And upon looking into it, you kind of had a realization like, things are not as good as I thought they were. Next we have, how can I relieve the current stress? And we have the Ten of Swords. So you just need to cut off, you need to completely cut off something. For me recently, that was like Hulu or, just things that I wasn't using very much. would I maybe want to use it at some point? Sure. But if I am being honest with myself, I'm much happier knowing that I have that money still in my bank and not going towards something that I feel like I got to make use of this or something like that. It's definitely very clearly saying you need to cancel some things. I feel like that's where this is going. We've got 3 confirmations right there. We need to cancel some subscriptions. We need to cancel, hey, entertainment purposes only. You do what you feel is right. Apply this to your situation, how it applies. Things need to be ended. If I was to extrapolate that a little bit further, I would say maybe cancel some plans as well. Don't really have the card for that, but if it sounds right, that could be right for some people watching this. Next, we have something that I need to learn about money, and we have the 5 of Wands. So, everybody has a different idea about where it should go and what it should do. And when I think about this in relationship to money, I instantly think of advertisement. Like, you've got all of this noise coming in from every different direction about, hey, buy my thing, or here's this thing that you were just talking about and your phone heard it and now it's on Facebook. And oh, how did that happen? Okay. They're all vying for your attention. And if we're not present and aware that is the intention of these advertisers, is to grab your attention and fight one another over it, then we can fall prey to it. For me, I'm thinking now of letting something, okay, so you saw something online and you were like, I've been wanting this. I was just talking about this. Before you add it to the cart, and then before you check out, leave it in the cart at least overnight. Give it a couple days. And then see how you feel about it after the fact, because a lot of times I realize I don't have to have it right now. And even in a couple days, maybe something else comes up. Any purchase that's not a necessity is best slept on and given some time to let things play out before you make a final purchase. But looking back again at this card of something I need to learn about money, it's be kind to yourself that you're spending a lot, because the motivation of every business imaginable is trying to grab your attention and get your cash. At the same time, keep that in mind, because it's very powerful, very persuasive. They're always coming up with new ways to get you. Even tuning some social media out, tuning out tuning social media out is good for a lot of reasons, but protecting yourself from advertisers as well. If you're not on there, you're not going to see the ads and then be like, oh, maybe I need this, or I wanted that, and kind of make the impulse buy. So next, we're looking at something to change about handling money. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. Huge money card, biggest money card really that there is. And it's a generational wealth card, which we hear that word a lot in the last couple years, I feel. But it's saying that wealth takes time to build. And once you have $2,000, it's easy to get to $3,000. Once you have $3,000, it's easier to get to $10,000. This card is talking about large sums of money. And following those concepts of, I need to have my nest egg, like emergency fund, right? And then I can start making small investments, get a Roth IRA or something like that, which I just recently started doing. And like, it's, even though it's still for me, it's a small amount, but it still makes me feel like I'm doing something to empower my situation. And it's like, now it's on my mind of like, yeah, I got this. And it's, this card is asking you to understand that to meet your goals, it's going to take a long time. And because it takes a long time, it's got to start today. And I don't think that means don't enjoy, make a budget. Set aside $150 for your investments, whether that's into a savings or into a retirement account or something like that. And look at your priority list and say, what is the bottom of the list or lower down? What's something that I can live without? I enjoy it. But how can I can live without that and get enjoyment instead from getting closer to this financial goal? Next, we have how to create a better relationship with money. And there's the Wheel of Fortune reversed. This is saying that there's always going to be ups and downs. There's going to be bad streaks of bad luck. That's why having this, like an emergency fund or something like that is going to protect you in those times so that you're not completely turned on your head. Now I'm looking at this Healing Earth card, like giving and receiving. It's asking for you to, in the times when you have a lot of money coming in, a windfall, tax return, busy season, whatever that looks like for you, your first priority has to be to put all of that extra stuff that's above your budget away, save it, invest it, or use it to pay off debt, because there's going to come a time eventually, because seasons always change, where you're going to be glad that you put that away, and then your stress overall will be far more manageable, and you won't even feel the bad times like you are currently, because you're closer to a maybe a paycheck to paycheck situation, or you're just not closely looking at your finances. Like, get excited about looking at your finances, checking in on it. And again, that's why I'm kind of like, dude, the IRA, like, because then you're like, oh, it went up, oh, it went down, but it's like, it's gambling, and this card is kind of speaking about gambling as well. And it being reversed means that you got to take a risk to do anything in life that's worth doing. And maybe this is, if you're already thinking about doing investments or something like that, that this is sort of like that encouragement of like, yeah, it may not be a sure thing, but it's a risk worth taking for entertainment purposes only. And last one, something in my life that's already abundant. And there's the Eight of Swords. In this context, I can think of nothing else other than you've been working and doing well. You have a situation around you that will be hard to break down, meaning that you've at least come this far to where even with a financial crisis ahead of you, it's still like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to lose my house, or I'm not going to lose the ability to continue working, or to be able to purchase food and like the necessities, right? So this is an incredibly stable card. And I know the imagery on it isn't all that friendly. It shows a woman blindfolded, kind of trapped in her situation. But when we're looking at it in this context, it just tells me that it's going to be very hard to tear down what you already have going for you. And it could also be speaking for some of you that changing habits does take time. I still see it as positive though. Overall, you're doing okay. Pay a little bit closer attention, grab a budgeting app, think about investments. It's never too late. And you have the Empress here at the base of the deck, which is a fantastic money card. It means there's a lot coming in. And maybe you're a very giving person also, and with the Healing Earth card too. But I don't really see exchange of money cards here either. So give to yourself first, so that you can be in a place to give more and more and more as time progresses. And that's all I want to say for you. Thank you so much, Pile 1. I hope you'll come hang out with me some other time. Bye. Okay, so Pile 2, we've got achievement, effort plus intention. Effort plus intention. So this reading is going to be pretty quick. It's just 7 cards. We'll find out what that means for you. I'm not a professional again. I don't know anything. This is just me, a random person on the internet, trying to use the cards to give you a little bit of assistance here financially. Because people always ask me for financial advice through the tarot. I'm like, well, I'll try. I can try. Hopefully something means something to somebody. And then I will have done my best. 1, 2. Oh, we got 2 for this one. I'm going to put this over here. Oh, okay. All right. So first, we have the 9 of Cups in the position of your current financial situation. So you're doing quite well. You have a lot to show for your hard work. You may be showing off a lot and flexing. But we'll see. Let's just see more about the context of that card. So next I have why I am under financial stress at the moment, and there is the 7 of Swords reversed. You don't have a plan. Things are not really being forethought. There's trying to think of a nice way to say this, just sort of clumsily spending money, making and spending money. It's not saying it's just falling out of your pockets, but it is saying that there's no intention, like long-term intention, long-term goal, long-term strategy or plan that you're using. And then in conjunction with this card here, it could be a lot more to do with what catches your eye, or maybe even what might catch the eye of others. We'll see. So next I have, how can I relieve the current stress, the current financial stress? And we have the Queen of Cups and the 10 of Wands reversed. So the Queen of Cups is a very intuitional, like spiritual, emotional card, emotionally attached. And with the 10 of Wands reversed, it's talking about letting go of burdens not worth having. So when I see those two together in this context, I'm thinking a couple different things. One is you are emotionally attached to things, items that are causing you burden. You're getting an emotional fix out of things, but those things are burdening you in a way that's not really, it's the juice not worth the squeeze. So that's one thought on it. My other thought is that you're buying things emotionally. You're spending money emotionally. It could be that you are very giving and you want to, take your friends out for dinner, and maybe that's where a lot of your money is going, is kind of spending time with people and emotionally connecting with people. It could also be like making purchases or spending money gives you emotional comfort, satisfies an emotional need. Regardless of which one of these you feel applies, the burden not worth having. So I think often we make decisions in life, and not just to do with money, lots of different decisions, because we're looking for an emotion, but we don't think of it that way. I say, I want a new car and I'm going to look awesome in it. It's going to be reliable. I'm going to be comfortable in it, whatever. But we often don't consider what is the emotional need that I'm hoping to fulfill by purchasing this item or doing this thing, making this choice. So for the new car, it might be, well, I want to have pride in the car that I'm driving around. I want to feel security because I'm thinking that it's going to be more reliable. Those are the types of emotions that can cause us to make big purchases. Then later, it's taking more from us because now I have a car payment. That means that I have less money that I did before that I could have spent to go out to eat or make an investment or just have it there for an emergency fund or for whatever might come up throughout the month. And I think if we pay closer attention to the emotions that we're looking to satisfy behind purchases, we can find other ways that are less burdensome to meet those emotional needs. That's it. Okay. Next, we have something I need to learn about money. Page of Cups. That's kind of the same message. It's like, emotional fulfillment can come from so many different places, but it looks like that's really, cups. It's emotions. You're spending money on an emotional basis to fulfill emotions. There are ways to do that without spending money, but it takes a little bit of, I think, forethought and consideration into, like I said, those deeper emotional needs that you're looking to satisfy with that purchase. Next, we have something to change about handling money. And we have the Hangman reverse and Justice. Okay, you're wanting to party and hang out or do fun things. You want to get out there and dance. You want to have fun with life. And you don't want to sacrifice anything. That's a big thing about this card when it's upright is it's sacrifice. And when it's reversed, it's like, I don't want to sacrifice anything. But the thing is that with Justice here, everything needs to be balanced. There's a time for enjoyment and there can be a budget for it, but there also needs to be a budget for sustainment and long-term health and wealth and building something. Because if I'm already jumping ahead, it does look like you're making a good amount of money or you have a good amount of money that's coming in to you. But things are just kind of all over the place. And I think you could get even more satisfaction than you even thought was possible with a little bit of moderation and applying a budget to smartly have those immediate desires and fun things satisfied while also satisfying longer term goals, or even saving up for big ones, something that would, instead of going out to eat tonight, I can save that for the next 4 weeks, not go out 4 times. And then maybe if you're me, that's probably an extra $400. Honestly, I spend a lot of money when I go out to eat. So anyway, which could maybe buy you like a camping trip for a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks, a couple days, or some other big purchase that you've been wanting to make. I also see with this, um, to change your concept about what's a sacrifice. And this is getting into your values. If you do want to make a change, set a different goal for yourself in life, as it pertains to money. I feel like the tarot's kind of saying you don't have to. This is your choice. But if you do want to make a change, then it's important to accept that now you have a new value. And that value is to be more discerning and more deliberate about the way that you spend and save your money. And recognizing that you have a new goal and a new value, then when you work towards that value and goal, you're looking at it positively. You're not saying, oh man, if I do this and I don't get to do that. And I'm so used to being able to spend my money on the fun stuff. If your values are changing, then it needs to be intentional to set a new habit, to look at that. Oh, I put money away. Hell yeah. I got another $500 in my savings account this week, or however it's going, right? That's amazing. I'm really happy about that because you have a new value, right? So it's important to mentally reward yourself so that you're getting emotional satisfaction out of it as well. Because emotional satisfaction as it relates to money is so, so important to you. So you got to kind of trick yourself for a little bit until you get used to it. Again, this is down to your choice. All right, so next we have how to create a better relationship with money. And there's the 7 of Cups reversed. We need to get clear about what we really want. There's all sorts of different pretty beautiful things that this person could buy right now that they're looking at, like, oh, I could get this, this new makeup kit, or I could buy a dragon, or it's important to figure out what your priority tier list is, and then follow it, and make a decision about what you want to do. I think there could be some. If you're here on this reading and you have this situation, is there some sort of guilt or feeling like, I spend way more money than people around me do on this frivolous stuff or this emotional purchasing? I feel like I should be doing something better. Like, well, if everything's okay and you're happy, then why are you thinking that? Might be a hot take there, but it could be true for somebody here. But other than that, if you are wanting to build a new value in having better control over your spending, then make sure to prioritize that in your heart. Sounds a little fluffy, but this is so emotional for you. And another thing I'm thinking too with this card is to remove distractions. If, I kind of see with this here too, that you may be kind of looking around you and being like, man, my neighbor has this new lawnmower and I've been thinking about getting a lawnmower. Like, were you though? Or did you just now think of it because you saw that they had it? Get clear about where your motivations and desires are coming from. And I told the last pile, I'm going to tell you all, if you have a thing that you want to buy, if you're buying it online especially, you put it in the cart and then click off of the app and sleep on it and give it another day and just kind of let it ride and just see if you're as serious about it in a couple days as you were when you were about to make that potentially emotional purchase. And last, something in my life that is already abundant, and I already kind of talked about this a little bit, but it's the Queen of Pentacles. She's she is abundance. She has money coming in. People give her money. She has relationships that are providing money, whether that's business relationships or a partnership where they're y'all are working together to make money. But she has financial abundance. She has security. All of her needs are met. You have a good financial situation around you. But the only question I see here is, are you going to let your emotions take the wheel, or are you going to take a more strategic approach so that maybe you can go on that big trip because you didn't splash out consistently over the course of a year. Now you can do the big thing. So it's up to you. Either way, you're doing okay. Yeah, and I mean achievement, effort plus intention for your card there. I mean, that kind of sums it up a little bit, but I'll go into it for a second. Just the effort to strategize, the effort to determine what your real values are and then act on them, act accordingly. So the intention being the values and the effort being to keep those in mind when you're about to make that emotional impulse buy. But that's it for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Pile 3, we have Hidden Knowledge, Akashic Records, Silent Understanding. No idea how that could apply to a financial reading, but we're about to find out. And this is going to be a quick reading. It's only 7 cards. Just give you a little bit of insight into what's going on. Hopefully, remember, I'm not a professional, anything. I don't know anything other than my own experience and how to read the cards. So I'm using that to apply the meanings to the context and hopefully get you some answers because, yeah, people always ask me financial questions for the tarot. They're like, I want a reading. Like, cool. What about, your relationship or spiritual growth or what's going on in your life in general or whatever. How's my money going to do this year? Like, yeah, I mean, I can read on that. It's not as easy as relationships as the other things. Relationships especially are the easiest for me, but okay, one more time. Five, 6, 7. Cool. Okay. We're just going to set that off over there. Okay. So, what is your current financial situation? We have the Strength card reversed. Strength reversed is impatience and can be weakness, can be a little, I keep thinking of the word ham-fisted. That's such a weird phrase. Like, not delicate, not refined. In relationship to a financial reading, I would say that there's some impatience with a financial goal, or there's some misuse of money due to inexperience or inattention or impatience. And next we have, why am I under financial stress at the moment? And we have the 8 of Cups. Perhaps you recently left a job. Perhaps you recently left a relationship or a partnership. It's showing that you had something that was good, but it just wasn't for you. Maybe good for other people. Or it was something that was emotionally burdensome that you had to leave behind. So I will say in this context, it looks like maybe overall it was the right choice, but now it is applying some financial pressure to you. And hopefully that's just something that will be cured in a matter of time and just a little bit of a growing pain, but we'll keep going. So next, how can I relieve the current stress? And we have the Five of Cups upright. So I think in relationship with these two, it's like maybe you had gotten used to a certain standard of living. You got used to money being able to be spent freely, and now, like, if you're single now, your lifestyle has to change because you just don't have the finances that you once had. This is asking you to mourn and let go what you left behind, because at the end of the day, it was an emotional matter. It was about your emotional well-being, and sometimes that has to supersede the money around you, the luxuries or the comforts. Sometimes aren't enough to make up for the emotional trauma and drama that the situation has put us in. So it's saying that things will improve, but that you have to let go the way things were, and expect and understand that things are different now, and that there is a path for happiness and satisfaction and comfort and all of those things. It's just not going to look the same. You may have to find new emotional fulfillment in things that are not, that can't be purchased, at least not for very much money. So if previously you had a tradition that you would always go on this summer vacation in a certain spot, and now that's out of your budget, it's asking you to say that was good while it lasted. It was fun for the time. Now I need to find something else that makes more sense financially, that can still feed my emotional need in some manner. It's tough. I feel for you. Next, we have something I need to learn about money, and it's the Ace of Swords. So your thoughts about this are very important here. And I almost want to I'm going to take this away and then shuffle again to get a clarification card, because aces are a little nebulous in my eyes. I want a little bit more info. King of Swords reversed. Okay. I mean, if there was a person, that was controlling the situation, financially or otherwise, it may have prevented you from seeing everything that was going on with your money. This is a truth card, and it may be suggesting that maybe you were shielded from how much things cost previously, or where your money was going, and it's saying that you've got to stay on top of it. Get a budgeting app, check your bank app regularly, see where your money is going, coming from and going to, and get clear on it, because not having the insight or the knowledge on that previously, I feel, meant that you didn't have the correct appreciation. Oh, that sounds a little bad. I'm sorry. I don't mean to judge you, but I'm not really. But you didn't. It was harder to appreciate the value of things when you're not knowing exactly how much they cost. And I know that isn't particularly fun. It actually can be an inducer of stress for some people. But it's important to know the facts, and that way you can just move more wisely from here forward. Oh, next we have something to change about handling money, and we have the Five of Pentacles. This is a poverty consciousness card. And if your financial situation has drastically decreased, You may be looking at yourself as a have not now, just because of the comparison of your former lifestyle and how it is now. And it's asking you to change that because you still have ways to meet your emotional needs, your mental health needs that have nothing to do with money. I understand there's some very tough situations that some of you may be experiencing. And I know I can't speak to all of those. But when we're in a place of poverty consciousness, the suffering for not being able to get the things we used to have, or even, they have that over there and I wish I could have that. And then it's just this whole thing. And it's just, it was already bad enough that you didn't have it, but now you're going to torture yourself with the thought that you don't have it. And it's asking for a reframing of your situation. Look for things to be grateful for, whether they're financial, objects, anything like that, or just my friends and family, the people that support me, I'm so grateful for. Right now with these emotional cards, I do feel that you need some emotional healing. And sometimes people instinctively go for purchases and spending to meet that emotional need. There are other ways to meet them. And I told the last two readings about this, so I'm going to tell you, if you're wanting to make some kind of purchase, let's say that it's a new car, and it's important to think about what are the emotional needs that I'm hoping to fulfill with this purchase. So if it's a new car, I want pride because I want to have something nice to show that I've achieved something. Or I want security because I feel like this car is going to be reliable. Or I want comfort because it has heated seats. But if we can identify, okay, I'm looking for comfort, I'm looking for pride, I'm looking for security. Think about other ways that those three needs could be met, those emotional needs could be met, whether just sitting at home and thinking about it, like, you know what? I do have a lot to be proud of. I left that toxic situation and I'm moving on from it, even though I had a lot to lose when I did that. There's your pride, or like I've got friends and family around me supporting me and they had my back through the worst of it. And I know I can count on them. There's your comfort. I forgot what the last one was. But yeah. Oh, security. It's the knowledge. There you go. That's a good one. I know what's going on with my money now. I'm paying close attention. I have my bank app. I'm opening it. I'm scrolling it. I know, I spent $200 on the electric bill. I have the power to be able to say, okay, I'm going to turn off all the lights when I leave the house now. I'm going to make that a point to do that. And then I have the power because I know the truth. I know what's going on. There's a level of security in having knowledge and information that you're not having to rely and trust on some person that potentially that I have to trust and depend on them for my financial security, for my security in general. So that can be very empowering. So having said all of that, reframe, look for ways to meet those emotional needs that don't cost money. And that way you won't, it's not just about the spending money. When you buy a new car, there's strings attached, right? Like now you're worried that I got to park way out in the boonies because someone's going to dent my freaking door, or now my insurance is higher. And of course I have a car payment now. That's really big. And what if I'm in a job and I hate it, but I want to leave, but like I can't because I got this freaking car payment. They're going to repo it if I, don't have a job for a couple months, or it tacks on so many burdens. when we could have just had our emotional needs met for free without any of those burdens. So mind over matter. Next, we have how to create a better relationship with money. And we have the Two of Swords. This can be saying, don't make a decision right away. It's saying, let it rest on your heart for a moment, any financial decision. Give it some time, sleep on it. It's kind of been a theme with all three of these readings. It's saying that you don't have to make a decision right away. There may be some things you don't have to make a decision on at all. This definitely seems like a dynamic situation that you're going through, and it's not likely to stay this way forever or even all that long. And if there's anything that's really distressing you right now financially, if it's not an immediate need, meaning rent or mortgage or, getting groceries or something like that, and it's more like a long-term concern, financial concern, it's okay to let that one be shelved and work on your emotional healing and your mental health, your awareness of what's going on. Have patience because the situation is in the middle of change. And that leads us to our last card, the Death card, which is the card of change. Not necessarily death, okay? If you're new to tarot, something in my life that is already abundant, and we have the Death card. There has been such a great change in your life that things will never be the same. But when it's this card in particular, it means that in the most positive of ways. It means that something that needed to die has, in fact, done so. And that opens the door for things to come in that we've been wanting, things that we've needed, whether we thought we wanted them or not. There's an abundance of change, which again goes back to what I'm saying, that have a little patience with yourself and with your circumstance. Things will not be this way for long. Yes. My camera said that's that on that. And then going back to this card to draw it all together, hidden knowledge. You just didn't know what the hell was going on prior. And I think it was important that you play an active participant role in your financial life. Know exactly what your bills are, how much they are, how much you're spending, how much your debt is, what are you doing to alleviate that or whatever. I think that would be very empowering for you. Make you feel like you have more control. But this is also a card of inner work. And I mean, if you've gone through a major change in your life that was emotional in nature, that takes priority. Keep on keeping on. We all have to have money from somewhere to keep the roofs over our heads and all of that. But I wouldn't really make any big decisions right now. Because your priorities, your knowledge, your wisdom is all about to be different and more evolved. And you're going to want to have that when you start making longer term, more impactful and more serious financial decisions. You want to do that on a basis of like, you wouldn't want to make such a serious decision before you took the course to know everything about what that decision entailed. Hopefully that's a pretty good analogy for you, but just have some patience. You're doing fine. I don't see anything too crazy here in the future. It's more talking about you've made a decision for yourself that is so much bigger than the money. And it's just a little bit of growing pains till things find their new place in your new truth, your new knowledge and awareness, and your new participation. And kind of, I don't know, I get this feeling of like liberation for you. So if that's the case, congratulations. And thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you next time. Bye.